Cracking the code of passive voice in English. Hello language enthusiasts. Welcome back to our English learning series. Today, we'll be unraveling the mystery of the passive voice. As always, we'll be breaking it down into digestible chunks so it's easier for you to understand and apply in your daily conversations or writing. So, without any further ado, let's dive into our exciting journey of the English passive voice. Before we dive into specifics, let's clarify what the passive voice is all about. In English, we usually use sentences in the active voice, where the subject of the sentence performs the action. For instance, John eats an apple, but sometimes, we need to switch things around and focus on the object or the action rather than the subject. This is where the passive voice comes into play. In passive voice, the object of the action becomes the subject of the sentence, and the subject, if mentioned, is usually placed towards the end of the sentence. The apple that John is eating? It takes center stage now. An apple is eaten by John. That's passive voice. So, how do you identify a passive sentence? A key feature of the passive voice is the use of be verbs followed by the past participle form of the action verb. Take the passive sentence we just looked at, an apple is eaten by John. Here, is a be verb, and eaten is the past participle of the verb eat. Additionally, the agent performing the action, in our case, John, is often introduced by the preposition by. However, it's essential to note that the agent might sometimes be left out if it's not important or already known. For instance, an apple is eaten. Here, we're focusing on the fact that the apple is eaten, not on who's eating it. To form a passive sentence, we usually follow this structure. Object plus be plus past participle plus by plus subject. Let's try with another example. The teacher is grading the tests. In the passive voice, it becomes, the tests are being graded by the teacher. The focus is on the action of grading or the tests that are being graded, not the teacher. That's it for today's lesson, folks. Remember, the passive voice is a great tool to shift focus, emphasize different parts of a sentence, or create some mystery. With a little practice, you'll be weaving passive sentences into your conversations and writings with ease. Keep practicing and see how you can play around with the active and passive voices. We hope this video was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Until then, happy learning!